Hello. Hello. Good morning. What's up, Cornbread? What's up, Brian? Or Imran, I'm sorry, I'm blind as shit. I don't know what that says. Imran, is that how you pronounce that? What's up, quiet person? Ooh, man, I just got out of fucking bed. Sleep all day. What's up, Addie? Good, how you doing? Batista. Oh, thank you. Hey, yesterday I went to this yard sale. I don't know if you can see it on there. I got these Sports Illustrated for $1. They got the Bengals Super Bowl from 1988 on them. I thought that was sweet. I got like five different ones. I just play my own stuff. I don't know that anyhow. I'm a gigantic Bengals fan. I gotta cut this mic down a little bit. It's a little bit loud. Favorite pop singer? If you're talking like pop music, Michael Jackson, Beatles. I don't know if you consider that pop. I bet you do. I'm glad. I hope you do. I hope you do. I hope that store down the street hears it. I'd love it. Man, I must be burning these tubes up, but this shit just sounds weird to me. I bet you they're about to go out or something. Can't get it to sound. Something's up. That's cool, Duck King. You play bass? Master of Puppets is tough. Well, I remember learning that when I was a kid. Fucking blisters on my fingers. And I couldn't use that pinky. I think that was the song that actually got me to use my pinky. That pinky's a bitch. My hand's falling to fucking sleep too. What about Cowboys from Hell? Can you play Cowboys from Hell? That's a good one to learn because of the movement. Yeah, well, like with a tube amp, you always got to change out the tubes. It's not like it's like an oil change. You know what I mean? It's maintenance. But when they start going, because I don't know if you ever used one. They're like little light bulbs, and they burn out but they're supposed to last, several hundred hours. But they'll start giving. Sometimes it's just they ain't warmed up, and they'll sound funny. Other some days will sound different. It just depends. You just get weird noises and stuff till they get hot. It's sounding all right now. Oh yeah, that old school technology is way. They sound way better. They sound way better. That's why they still sell them. And they're expensive. You know that. Fucking hand asleep, man. No way would you do with that tube amp, because they're all worth money. Oh no, Mesa makes some of the best ones. Well, they also got hybrid, and they call them tube. If they don't have the glass tubes in the back, then it's not really a tube amp. They'll have a preamp tube. There's two tubes similar. You have to look them up. Like a Mesa Mark IV is like $1,000 head, $1,200 head. These tubes are about $200. Oh man, I'd be looking up to see its value. Oh, nice. These are good amps. about the song? Who's that? It's my song. Yeah, Rusty, them double rectifiers. Those are like, you can turn them down to 25 watts, right? 'Cause my buddy had one. That thing was so damn loud, even at 25 watts, and it sounded wicked. This thing's 100, and it cuts down to 25. But you can replace those tubes in the back. It's like a light bulb. You just pull them out. You got to have them biased and shit, but it ain't nothing to do. You can buy a matching set. But the thing about a tube amp and a guitar and a bass, they don't make low wattage bass tube amps. So if you buy a bass tube head, you're paying $1,000 for it, at least $1,000. You know, unless you buy something that's old and needs worked on. Well, what you do is you crank up the master volume all the way, and then you use your guitar volume, and then you use the channel volume to kind of cut it back. But you can get the sound, or you can buy a little. I got this little box. It's called an attenuator, and that takes the power. So you use that to control the volume. That way you can get the full tone at a low volume. Well, Metallica uses, Event 7V uses messes. They got some sick amps. Let me show you something. Get one of these for about $100, and you plug up the head to it, and it soaks up that power so you can crank that amp all the way up, and then you use this volume to control it. And you can get the full tone without having to fucking bust your eardrums. They're nice. Like this one, I got it on 2.5 right now, and before I only had to put it on about 1.5. That's why I know the tubes are starting to go. I got to turn it up, but it's barely even up. It will crank. But if I'm gonna plug that power soak up, so I can turn it all the way, but it doesn't really matter because I'm using it direct. Anyways, I don't really need to hear it. But if I decide I want to, I can hook that power soak up. They're nice because you can get them tubes hot, and you can keep it at a volume, a bedroom volume. Rob Arnold. Yeah, it's a Bugera power soak. They're only about, I'm wanting to say $89. A lot of them are expensive, but you don't need that expensive. Well, I think it would make them hotter, so they would probably go out faster. But I've had these tubes. I've used the hell out of this amp, and I'm not even sure it's having problems. It just might be that Focusrite. Those tubes should last forever anyways. You're going to be hard to burn them up. It takes a long time. And usually when you got one that's bad, it's usually a preamp tube, which are cheap. They're only like $20. The power tubes are expensive. They're about $50 a piece, probably. I've never changed tubes on any amp that I have, because I never had one that lasted long enough. That one right here in the back behind me is 1967. That means Jimi Hendrix is still alive. He might have played on that amp, but it's got the original tubes in it, and the tubes are worth like $400 or $500 because they're original, and that's a good sounding amp. It's an old Gibson bass amp I got. So the tubes can last, I mean, you just never know. They're like a light bulb. But you can't beat the sound. I've had solid states, And then I got one of the best solid state heads, and I hook them up side by side. This amp blows them away. It just crushes it. It's not even a comparison. And this is just a good afternoon, Pierre. This is just a little mid-range cab. If I got a fucking high-dollar cab, it probably sounds twice as good. Oh, I don't know no Beethoven. I've been working on some Bach, though. Send this through my dream guitar. It's probably the one I got. I wanted one forever. I wanted a American Fender. I'm not real picky. Always. I got 8 more sitting over here. What's up, Haley and say Junaid? Junaid? As far as I got, I've been working on that for a little bit each day for a couple weeks now. Just learning a little piece at a time. That's Bach. I haven't got no Beethoven yet. Soon. Shit's difficult. Oh man, Temecula. Rusty, who says they don't like the messes? The only people that don't like the messes are the ones that are mad because they can't buy one. That's what it's all about. Or if you play blues, you might not like it, I guess. Well, I mean, my buddy had one. I thought it was wicked. It just, I mean, if you play Eric Clapton type stuff, then you might not get that kind of tone out of it. I don't know. I haven't messed with it enough. I could see people being mad about that for genre reasons, but it's a good sounding head. But it still might even do blues. I don't know. I've never messed with one long enough. But what he had sounded awesome. Metallica used on the Black album, he used a Mark IV Mesa, and that's one of the best sounding albums ever on guitar tone. Who's Rob Arnold, anyways? He said the dude from Ohio. Oh yeah, I mean because it's got that. This has a sweet overdrive channel on this. It sounds awesome. I wish I could hook up direct but it's got some wicked tone. If you dial it in, you probably hear that shit. I might have to start using that actually. That sounds pretty wicked. It gets way dirtier. You can crank it up. This is a wicked amp. Oh, I know Chimera. Yeah, I went to go see them one time in got kicked out because my buddy got in a mosh pit. I think it was Chimera. No, that was Trivium. Yeah, I think it was Trivium and Chimera. Yeah, I know Chimera. I didn't know that dude was from Ohio. I might have known that at one point. They had, I don't really remember. I remember they had an album that was good. I've heard it, but it's been so long. I never listened to it enough for it to, like Pantera, you know what I mean? Where you burn the shit out. But yeah, it was in the early 2000s. I like that sound. I'm gonna mess with that later. Hello, thank you, Ali. I bet it does. I got it plugged in. It's loud in here too. I kind of need to turn it down a little bit. Here's the problem. How are you today, Elise? Hell yeah. Yeah, it's good today. For the most part. That's good. Didn't you say he's only got a couple more days of treatment? For now, I mean. My mom's got to go June 14th, I think it is. 18th. Let's see. Oh yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah, my mom. It was raining here this morning. I heard it, and I just got back to the store, and it was about to start again. Before I come on here. That's what they're hoping with my mom. Not bad. You quit smoking? I mean, from the tobacco companies, probably at least, because they want people to smoke cigarettes. But I smoked forever, and I feel way better. I'm sure it can be bad, but if you look into it, they really don't even know. But none of it's good. But the tobacco is going to be telling you all kinds of shit because they want people to smoke cigarettes instead of vaping. But I feel way better compared to when I was smoking a pack and a half of cigarettes a day. Yeah, that's probably actually worse because it's so heavy. THC's so a lot thicker, you know? That makes me cough more than this does. It's all bad. You're gonna die of something. You know what I mean? You could die in a car wreck tomorrow. What's up, creamy potato? None of it's good. Hopefully you get good news from Brandon, though. In a few weeks. That'd be sweet. Yeah, exactly. And they were talking about like popcorn lung and stuff. They said that was false too because the people that supposedly got that, they had other problems going on, like what do you call that? Ammonia, and they were smoking on top of that. From what I read, all I know is I just go by how I feel, and I know I feel way better. If it kills me, I'm probably gonna die. You're gonna die someday, anyways. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's crazy sound, ain't it? That's kind of like a new. I've been just experimenting with that song I just played, and I've been kind of switching it out. But so far, that's the one I like the best. I like the crazy sounds. It mixes it up, you know. I love delays. I've been thinking about getting that DL4 pedal. This Line 6 makes it. But I watched some dude on YouTube, and he used like 6 delays, and it was so wicked. And it gave me ideas, so I love delays. I'm going to start writing some shit with, because I like just a normal sound of a bass, too, you know. I just been playing with this thing for so long. But I like just straight bass. That's the way I played for years. About to change my drum. Thank you, Elise. Hello, Fruit Pro. Can't believe it's almost 2 o'clock already. Crazy. Flies by. Yeah, dude, get like either a BeatBuddy or like the Mini, or if you got a laptop, just get on Ableton. You can probably get that for free, and then put beats on that. They got tons of like preset ones on there, and that might be better than a BeatBuddy, honestly. If you get a laptop nowadays, you can get tons of shit that you couldn't, 5 years ago. Thanks, Rusty. What's up, Nick? Yeah, my buddy sold me this Mac I got for $200, and it's a good computer because he wasn't using it. He sold it to me cheap. Before that, I didn't. I just had a little HP. But now, if you get a decent laptop, you can get most like amp stuff and pedal stuff for free off of Ableton. Thank you. So I'm just now learning how to use Ableton. It's not too difficult. But like after I found out about it, I could have saved a bunch of money on pedals because it has all kinds of stuff on it too. But it's too late now. I don't know if I like this one or not. on that fucking song, I do that shit. Every damn time. Well, hold on. What's up, Jeffrey? Thank you, Rusty. It says frame it on the wall. Yeah, thank you, Rusty. Yeah, they let me turn that on at like 1 a.m. They said it takes months, but it only took a couple days. I can ask the neighbor across the street. She probably punched me in the face. Strip cover. You know what else you can do? Now you can they got the store on there that you can put t-shirts on there and shit. So I need to get some t-shirts made. I mean, you can sell them the whole time if you want, but if you have a store, people can actually go on there and buy shit. You know, I don't know what, but it's probably expensive to get them made nowadays. But you can sell all kinds of shit, I bet. I can make t-shirts for individual songs. You know what I mean? Put something cool on them. Coffee mug. I thought about that too. Could be anything. face on the shirt, I make $1 million. You better believe it. Hello, Tamuna. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, you can sell anything on there, Rusty. So I got to think of some ideas. Sell some old strings. Today, this one is a Georgia peach. So Tyler gave me this other one. It's good. It's wild berry. I gotta charge it. I sell my old vapes. $5 a piece. But you know what? My lips touch them. The YouTube takes 30% though. That's what's bullshit. 30%. I mean, yeah, and then you know what else is crazy? If you use an Apple phone, which I do, but I don't think it counts on me. If somebody else pays with an Apple phone, Apple takes 30% too. So that's 60%. That's fucking crazy. But you know, it's whatever. Yeah, I can even sell my guitars on there if I want to sell my guitars. You know, but they're gonna take 30%. You use an Apple phone, Rusty? Now, I don't know if that's still true or not. I'll have to look into it. I just seen somebody say something about that on a forum somewhere. But it might have been old. I'm not for sure. 100% sure. I have to look at the what YouTube sent me. But yeah, yeah. You think they're gonna do it for free? They better give me some more views then, huh? They better start. They better promote the video more. Yeah, yeah. If you go through the App Store, then I think that they. I'm not sure if if there's a direct link you can go to on the YouTube. I don't know. I have to look it up. But I know YouTube for 100% takes 30%. Now I don't know if you got to make a certain amount before they start taking. I'm not for sure. It might be something like that too. No, I know what you mean. Oh yeah, I think that's what you can do, and it does do that. But I'm not sure if you got to make like $100 and then they start taking money. I don't know. It might be something like that too. Actually, YouTube pays the best of anybody, and they let you get away with doing what you want. They don't like restrict you, you know, too much. Like you can vape on here, and then shit like that. You can vape weed on here because weed's legal as long as it's legal in your state. You know, shit like that. A lot of other places won't let you do that. But they're taking 30%. And I've got uh, almost 500,000 views, and I've never made any money off it. But they make money every time. They make it while you're getting monetized. So they made like $10,000 off me at least. I added it up one day. That was a while back. But they give you 55% of the ads though when you get monetized, and they take 45%. So you still get more than them. But I mean, they're promoting you and they're putting their ads on. It's just like TV, you know. So it's cool. I mean, I ain't complaining, but I think the super chats, they should take less on that maybe, but it is what it is. Because if they weren't around, then you would have no way of ever getting any kind of exposure, you know, at all. 20 years ago, you couldn't do this shit. You could be best in the world, no one would know who you was. It's got good and bad, you know. Everything does. Yeah, Apple's, man, they make so much money. It's crazy. Hi, Bonnie. But I do love my iPhone. I had an Android for years, and I like that iPhone way better now that I'm used to it. It's way faster. It charges way faster. It's way safer. Yeah. We can collaborate. I used to know that song. Shit. Line 6. HX Stomp. It's got all kinds of stuff on it. I'm kind of new to it, so I've just kind of been picking out stuff that I like so far, but I found a few that I stick with. I haven't played that in a long time. That's a good song, though. I think I'll play one more. Oh, I love Alice in Chains. They got all kinds of songs. But see, I get copyright. I don't know what the hell you can get away with and what you can't. So I gotta be careful. I want to ask that woman I was talking to, because she can tell me. Thank you. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, I'm gonna jump off here. I'll be back on later though. Thank you, Rusty. Thanks for the donation. I need to eat. I'm so hungry. Oh, dude. Hey, check this out. I got this for $1 at a yard sale yesterday. It's a 1988 when they went to the Super Bowl. I got another one too. I'm a huge, huge Bengals fan. I bet I've missed. Yeah, that's Icky Woods. That some old woman had a whole box of magazines like Time and all that stuff, and she was gonna sell them to me five for $1. I gave her $5. I gave her $1 for each one. I bought 5 of them. I got another one in there that was after the Super Bowl when they lost. I didn't want to put that one up. She had she had tons of like dolls and stuff too that were old. They're probably all worth money. All that stuff was probably worth money. I used to sell on eBay and probably could have sold all that stuff. Probably could have got it cheap too. She had just all kinds of stuff. Stuff from the 60s and 70s. The icky shovel. But thank you, everybody. I'll be back on later this evening. Probably 5 o'clock or so, maybe 6 o'clock. Later on. Thank you, Elise. See you, Rusty. Mandolin. Man, I want to play a banjo. I'm going to have to get one because it's kind of like a bass. Finger pick it. I could probably play the hell out of it. Give me about a month. A piano. I think I'm going to record some music today while in between these lives. I've been working on a couple of them, and I think I figured out how to do it the way that I want to do it. I watched some videos. Used to do what? Cornbread? You play banjo? Hell yeah! You can't. You don't forget. Is your name Dumai or is it Dummy? Is it a joke? I'm going to be getting off here though for a little while. I'll be back on. But you should keep picking that banjo, cornbread. If you already know how, you might as well keep on doing it. I can play. I can play. If I had a piano, I could be really good at piano if in a few years. Cause I can sit there and make stuff up on a piano all day long. Yeah, well, I'm used to finger picking, so it'd probably be a little easier. I just don't understand how they're tuned. They're tuned different than a guitar, so I don't know about how you make the chords and stuff. But once I get that down, I could learn how to play one pretty quick. You know. Oh, bluegrass. My bad. I thought I seen cornbread on here. My bad, bluegrass. I thought it was cornbread saying he played the banjo. What's up, Tyler? I'm about to get off here. You ain't fishing? Mandolins. Oh, are you? You working? Oh, so you just now got up there, didn't you? I think I got some pizza. All right, I'll see y'all. Yeah, Tyler, I'm getting off here now. But you just get a hold of me later or something. See everybody. I'll be back.